Hey guys, so today we're gonna look at some of the comments left by the latest video we made, Will Berserk and ending not be a grim one, according to Miria. So yeah, I want to thank all the guys and girls who subscribed to our channel and also left comments because the comments are what make talking about Berserk so awesome. So let's start with Barry the Speedster. Muriel let slip in an interview years ago that Guts will have a happy ending. The true story of Berserk is hope, and Berserk is called that because of the environment that the characters live in. That is also why it takes so long for him to write it. He says if he just worked on Berserk all the time, he would be insane, lol, which is completely understandable. So that's a nice long running sentence, but so Barry the Speedster believes that Berserk is going to end on a happy note because Miria said so. And although I like to think that Berserk will end on a happy note because, life cannot be all doom and gloom, I just don't see it happening that way. And, well, I have several reasons, but that's not the point of today's discussion. We're just going to look at different comments, right? So let's look at this one by Gabrielle Flippe. One thing that almost anyone talks about, if Guts ever used his full force and hatred against the God Hand members and Femto as well in the final showdown, he might end up losing his body just like the Skull Knight. The power inside the Berserker armor is too much for him to handle, even if he doesn't have any injuries on his body. So I think what Felipe is talking about is the odd in the armor, the demonic force or presence that is magnified due to Guts' own inner demons. And I don't I don't think it's too much for Guts to handle. I just think it suppresses his true intent. And well, we saw what happens exactly with when he first wore the armor. His consciousness was held intact because of the writings and inscriptions placed on the armor by Flora. So I guess what I'm trying to say is like I don't think Guts will lose himself per se in the armor, but because of the protections. But if, as the Demon Dog said a while back, if once Guts breaks and once he loses himself one day, and it's going to happen, he will be there to take him over. So I don't think he's going to fully lose himself again because of protections, but he may lose himself to the Demon Dog for a little bit and go berserk, so to speak. All right, let's. Ooh, this one has 5 likes. So this is a good one, huh? All right. How I see Berserk ending is that the God Hand betrays Griffith, and which Griffith and Guts team up in an unlikely alliance to take out the God. Or before that, we have to find out who Skull Knight is. What is his goal against with Guts? So I agree. Like we need to know what the Skull Knight's true intentions are. Well, he seems like he wants to destroy God, but who knows? Maybe he wants to acquire power that we haven't seen before. But that's a good theory. So, and that's what that theory was by War Mac 88. So 2XJ said, I wouldn't be surprised if somehow Griffith gets Casca and Guts to rejoin him to create a Neo Man of Hawk to stop the God Hand. I could definitely see it ending that way, especially since Griffith is using Casca and Guts' son's body. Yeah. Someone, Christian Menstone. Man, I suck at reading. Anyway, he says, is a new chapter supposed to drop soon? Keep up the good work and keep growing the channel. You still with your lady? Yes, I'm still with the lady. She's just busy. You guys should do more videos together. She adds a nice balance of videos. Yeah, that's true. The back and forth is nice for real. I need to tell her that. Alright, so FNA Flavor Lee says, good theory, but I don't think it will end on a bad note. This is just my opinion. I definitely see Guts getting powered up from either the Elves or the Skull Knight or Casca will get a power. Plus, you gotta count in Rickard and the Bakaraka. Oh yeah, those guys. Yeah, I guess we still haven't even got to the part yet, and I think this will be a positive thing for Guts. Not only in it adds on more to the story, and then you have Guts and Casca Baby, who is a part of Griffith's new body, and it does affect him. Plus, we haven't even seen all of what the L's powers are yet. Yeah, so It is so all right, and this is one thing I love about Berserk, but this is one thing that's so frustrating, right? There is so many elements and so much story to be touched upon, right? Like literally, if Muriel wanted to, he could write on Berserk for decades, and it will still have so much content because there's so much backstory, so much lore in this world. But that's the scary thing. Muriel is only human. Unless he is somehow a God Hand member and we don't know, he's going to die someday. And he hasn't even, in my opinion, my humble opinion, the world of Berserk hasn't been scratched yet. The surface of the world, the entire world, hasn't been scratched yet. Because all we know about is we're following Guts' story. But think about all the backstory with Void, with Slan, with all the God Hand members, with the Skull Knight, with the idea of evil, which I know we can't use that because it's not official yet, but with all the elemental kings, it's like a whole world that we don't know about. And to have 1 or 2 chapters coming out a year or every other year is insane. It's like we would never finish Berserk in our lifetime. It's so much lore and content that it's insane. Berserk might actually go down in history as one of the greatest series that would never ever see the ending to. And I'm scared about that. I think the next time we see Casca, sorry, this is from James Clark. I think the next time we see Casca will be one of the keys to the endings and the cliffhanger he left us on with Guts and Casca, and the amount of time it's taken is so cruel. It is so cruel. Maybe the intent of the story Berserk is to make the world mad at Miria. Maybe waiting for the ending of this badass series is the whole intent, and it is driving me up a wall. Oh my god. Okay, so this person says, um, Chantal Tessman. I am rereading Berserk for like the 5th time, mostly because I'm bored. But every time I reread the manga, I find something new I haven't noticed before. However, how it will end on a bad note, it really depends on how you view Berserk itself, right? In itself. So far, the only person who has come close to achieving their goals is Guts. Casca Mine is now free. We are just waiting for her response to Guts. For Griffith, he's still trying to build his kingdom. He still has demons who are not submissive to his rule. In addition, much of known world as well as the spiritual world is still unknown to Griffith. Despite Griffith being femto and part of the God Hand, he still is quite ignorant to many dominions that exist. Then there's the God Hand himself. I don't think he meant Dan. Then there's the God Hand himself. At this point, plays a very minor role. Their presence is to represent the essence of the idea of evil existing, but their behavior and motives are still quite unclear. Yet the God Hand has shown admiration towards Guts and how he is able to overcome the burden of the brand. It can end with Griffith wanting an alliance with Guts to defeat the God Hand, who are the root of making the apostles, as well as the idea of evil. It can end Guts dying after or being defeated by Griffith and his demon army. It can end with the world itself having a rapture and the rest rating, considering this happened to SK Empire a long time ago. Who the hell knows? I just know Mira needs to end it. All right, so that was a long one, but I agree. Mira needs to end it. And this thing, like, after watching Devilman Crybaby and reading the manga Devilman, I mean, there's a lot of similarities between Devilman and Berserk if you really think about it. Like, in terms of, like, light versus darkness and stuff like that. But then, like, I could see Berserk ending where, Guts dies against Griffith. But then I don't think that's going to happen. All right, let's say Miria says it's not going to be a bad ending for Guts. The ultimate ending for Guts would be revenge against Griffith, right? So that's not entirely a bad ending. But he never said it but what if the ending we're thinking, like, Guts gets his revenge against Griffith, but in so doing, he destroys the world doing it, you know what I mean? So it's just too many mysteries. It's like the armor itself. We know the armor could create beings like the Skull Knight because it was hinted at that. So if we take that into account, and I'll say Skull Knight is very powerful, The only difference between Skull Knight and Guts is that Guts is able to kind of choose his own fate and destiny, versus how the Skull Knight is kind of tied to a certain limitation, like his own fate. I don't. You see, it's causality. It's just so much. It's like so many things seem like they have to happen. So, in a nutshell, the comments on this video just makes me think more about the World of Berserk and how deep it goes, and if free choice is actually a choice, or if you are predestined to live or die based on the writing on the wall. You guys tell me what you think and comment below. Like, Berserk will drive you insane. It's driving me insane. But yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts. Thank you.